Hey guys, I'm Poiz from Cloud9, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to play JETT on ICEBOX. And thank you to Microsoft for presenting this agent guide.
One enemy remaining. Hey.
Bro, oh my god.
Bro, like, man.
Give me those stacks. Lock inside. Give me those stacks.
One enemy remaining.
Hey, good job.
You should have seen your faces.
So the strengths of JETT, I think her biggest strength is that she's really hard to master because she's very mechanically intensive. The reason why JETT is such a popular pick and pro play is because she's very versatile, and usually teams kind of want an opper, and she's really good for opping, but she's also good for entering. I think on ICEBOX, it's really important to use the operator on JETT because there's so many angles, and people dry pick a lot of angles, so it's usually free kills. So on defense, I usually like to play towards the A side, but if I'm opping, it's still really good to float around to you can go
Here.
A, you can go mid, you can peek under
Here.
tube, you can go on B,
Here.
there's a bunch of angles on B. So on A side, a lot of A side is kind of about winning duels and taking a quick peek on this headshot, or sit up here and go for a quick peek here. Sometimes at the start of a round I like to walk up and maybe go for a quick peek up belt or a quick peek here and then get a kill and dash away, but you have to be careful of this angle right here. I think JETT's really good on it because there's a whole
Here.
bunch of high grounds.
Here.
You can updraft,
Here.
you can really play anywhere, and I think it's really good for JETT's kit. There's a little trick where the second the round starts, you can go on the rope and people won't hear you and you kind of sneak into nest. You can almost always get a free kill here unless they're expecting it. And once you get that free kill, just dash away, and it's usually a free opening pick. You could also farm the orb here. If you just throw a smoke down and get the orb, you can honestly do that at the start of every round. Or maybe you can have a teammate hold belts, so you can farm the orb and use your ultimate. I think usually on A side, I usually go for a quick pick with an operator or with a rifle. And once I get that quick pick, I'll kind of fall back, maybe I'll updraft to rafters. And I'll wait for my team to come for the retakes, because it'll be a 5v4 retake, assuming my team's still alive. It's in your favor, right? So usually you should probably win those retakes if you get a quick pick and dash out. But usually when I'm playing A side, I kind of just fight till I die, unless they'll plan for my teammates to retake. Because there's just a whole bunch of angles you can play. You play up here, you can tuck back here, you can get 1 or 2 free kills. After that, fall back, go for another angle. This one's really good, this one's really good. There's usually people over there, smoke them off. So when you're playing mid on JETT, assuming you have an operator, the second the barrier
Here.
falls right here, you can usually jump down, and people won't expect you to be down here. But you have to be careful because people
Here.
can be up there too. You can just get a quick pick and dash away. Other than operators on mid, I don't usually play mid that much on JETT. It's kind of a awkward place for JETT, because a lot of the time attackers
Here.
will smoke right here, and there's really just not much you can do about it. They kind of just get mid control off of one smoke. For B side on JETT, when you're floating with an op, you can also come here. This angle's really good, or sometimes they'll go there. You can also play up here maybe, get a quick pick. The reason why the operator is so powerful on JETT is because she can take really weird angles and then just quickly dash away. You can take an angle like this or something, because if you're not on JETT and you don't have a dash and you take an angle right here, you imagine you take a shot and then you're just kind of stuck here. But since JETT has a dash, you can dash out of the angle and people won't really expect that angle. You just really have to take aggressive angles with JETT and then use her dash to get out, and I think that's why she works really well with the operator. But if you want to play more passive, maybe you play further back here, get a quick pick. It kind of depends on how you want to play. You can play aggressive or play passive. I personally think it's better to take aggressive angles and just dash away, but it's kind of up to the player how they want to play. So yeah, that's kind of how I play defense. I go for a lot of opening picks, because that's kind of what you do on JETT. You go for first plays, you kind of try to entry for your team. You want to be really unpredictable with the op. You don't want to just play A side every single round, or else the enemies will know that you're on A side. It's good to move around and be less predictable. For attack, I usually like to try to go A lot. I think A is the easiest site to take. when you go to A site, you have to be really careful of all the angles. Because, you know, there's an angle here, here, here. There's a headshot angle right here. And there's one in this little window. You just have to be really careful when you're moving up on belts. You have to have really good aim, and you have to be able to win your duels, because it's a lot of what A site is. If my team ever wants to rush A site, so it's pretty good to updraft here. You have to be careful though, because if people are holding it, then you're kind of stuck with your gun out, or you're stuck with your gun not being out when you updraft. If your team's trying to go fast, you usually want to just like stay on high ground. One thing I like to do is throw a smoke here and dash over. It's more of a fundamental, but when you dash, you can actually look to the left or right and like clear close angles. So when I'm dashing like middle sight like this, throw a smoke, dash, and then you can clear close angles. So when I dash up there, then my team knows there's nothing close right. It takes a lot of pressure off your team. They don't have to move their crosshair to like clear this. They can just keep being focused on the enemies and where they might actually be. Yeah, so when you're coming to a site, you gotta be careful of this angle, but usually if somebody's there and you're coming from belts, you can see them before they see you. So it's kind of a free kill actually. Also when you're coming down, I mean there's so many angles, you just have to be careful of them all. I mean they can be anywhere really, you should be careful of this one. I see a lot of people hide here. I see a lot of omens hide here. Maybe omen plays here and then they TP out, so gotta be careful of that. You don't really want to be like down here too much on Jett, you more want to be on pipes or like on belts. And then just like be on the high ground and then you like dash over. So when you're taking a site also on Jett, maybe sometimes your omen smokes or brimstone smokes, maybe they'll expire. And then you don't want to leave this open, so when they do that, you want to throw a quick smoke. Well, actually that's not a good one. Just throw a quick smoke to delay them even further. So yeah, you always want to use your smokes for your team. I think attacking on mid on Jett is actually pretty good, because when the round starts, I think the barrier is like right here. You can jump up here and then glide over. Assuming mid is smoked, assuming your team smoked mid, you can dash over, but the enemies will only hear a dash, they won't hear an updraft, so they might think that you're actually down here when you're actually up here, and then it's usually a free kill there. Again, I think a lot of this map is just like winning duels, so maybe like go for a quick pick mid and just try to open up the site for your team. Personally, I prefer to rifle on attack. More like to play like entry Jett on attack and just kind of dash around the map, try to get the opening pick. But opping is still definitely good on attack. I don't really go inside tube too much. It's kind of hard to take because it's such a narrow little hallway and the enemy like always has the advantage. But I mean there are some scenarios where going up tube would be good. You just have to be really careful about maybe like a Cypher tripwire here or a Killjoy alarm bot. That's what people like to do. Attacking B site, I think it's a lot harder than A site. Be really careful of all the angles because there's a bunch of little spots that people can hide in. And usually if you're going first on Jett and it's kind of your job to clear those, try to play on the high grounds. I think the hardest thing about B site is post plant, because planting here, I think it's pretty easy usually, but it's kind of an easy site to retake, I'd say. So I think that's a lot of what this map is just kind of winning your gunfights. So going into the Bladestorm segment presented by Microsoft, I think that's definitely the reason why I play Jett the most, is because of her Bladestorm. I mean, who doesn't like flying through the air and just like one-tapping people with fully accurate knives? The biggest thing that you should know about the Bladestorm is you should abuse the mobility, I'd say. I see a lot of people like use her ultimate and then they just like walk around like this. I think you want to abuse the mobility on our kid. With Jett's Bladestorm, you can do a whole bunch of little things, like right at the start of the round. Pop Bladestorm, dash, get a quick mid. If you know the enemy's going B, like they're rushing B or something, you could dash updraft here and then do one more updraft here and get a whole bunch of picks there. And on A side, I mean, A side is just really like Jett's playground. So when I'm coming to A and I have my Bladestorm, one thing I like to do is like go off to the side here and updraft. But you know, hitting a left gear on with Jett's ult is the hardest part, I'd say. So if you're feeling confident, then maybe do a quick little updraft to the left and just hit the shot. And one thing I like to do on defense is jump on this, float over here, and then you can just updraft twice here and you can basically see the entire B site, and it's really good. But again, you gotta be able to hit the shot. It's the hardest part.
One enemy remaining.
for a quick summary, I think on defense, I usually like to play on A site the most and just go for these quick picks with an operator. You know, you don't want to play A site every single round. Make sure you're floating around the map and going like towards mid or like under 2.
Here.
So thank you guys for watching this agent guide of JETT on ICEBOX. I hope you enjoyed it. It's presented by Microsoft. And let me know in the comments what agent you would want to see next.